Very good evening and a warm welcome to all the beautiful aspirants. आप सबका स्वागत है Oliveboard के channel पर. So today we are going to start a session of time and distance. This is a very important topic for pre, for mains, for everyone, everywhere, even for DI and caselets also. So as usual, the first lecture will be kind of basic plus average, and then we will be having in the second lecture some important questions relevant for the examination. Fine. So in the topic of time and distance, we are concerned about three things, that is distance, which is equivalent to speed and time. So distance is directly proportional to speed and distance is directly proportional to time as well. Fine. So distance equals speed into time. Based on this particular single expression, all the questions of time and distance can be done. Fine. So let's start with our topic. This is the first question. So there are two trains. They both are starting at the same time from Delhi and Jaipur. So there are two stations, namely Delhi and Jaipur. And there are two trains. They are traveling towards each other. Their relative speeds are 37 km per hour and 49 km per hour are their respective speeds. When they meet each other, the faster train covers 132 km more than the other. So they are traveling towards each other. So basically, the time of meeting will be same, right? So remember this thing. So time of meeting is always same. So this particular train will be covering more larger distance as compared to this particular train, only because the speed of this particular train is less as compared to the second. So over here we can just see the difference of speed is 12 km per hour. That means relatively they are having a difference of speed of 12 km per hour. That means for each hour this particular train is covering 12 km more. So in 1 hour he is covering 12 km more. So whenever they are meeting, this particular train will be covering more distance as compared to the second train. So when they are meeting, they are covering 132 km more. This particular train has covered 132 km more as compared to the first train. Now in 1 hour period of time, he is liable of covering 12 km more distance. That means this entire 132 km will be covered in what period of time? That is 11 hours. So we can just say both had traveled for 11 hours. So what are the distance they have persuaded? So distance equals speed into time. He is having a speed of 37 times of 11 and he is having a speed of 49 times of 11. So these are the respective distance. So these are the distance covered by both of them. Fine. Again, he is traveling at a speed of 37 km per hour and he is traveling at a speed of 49 km per hour. For 1 hour period of time, he is covering 12 km more distance as compared to the first train. And whenever they are meeting, this particular person is covering 132 km more. So that means the entire tenure will be 11 hours. So both of them have traveled for 11 hours each. So what is the distance between them? 7 into 1 is 7 and 9 into 1 is 9. 9 plus 7 units place should be 6. So 946 will be the answer. So entire distance between both the places will be 946 km. So 946 km will be the distance between both the places. Fine. So the second question. this is just a first lecture. So we'll have 3 to 4 important question in this entire session, 3 to 4 very important or and reasonable question. Other than that, we'll be gradually increasing our level. So 2 lectures of time and distance will be there. Fine. 2 trains start from a certain place on 2 parallel tracks in the same direction. So they are traveling from the same place. Let's say this point is P, and they are traveling in 2 parallel tracks. The speed of both the trains are same. The respective speeds are 45 km per hour and 40 km per hour. Fine. The distance between the 2 trains after 45 minutes will be, whenever the 2 trains are traveling in the same direction, their relative speed will reduce, and where they are traveling in opposite direction, the relative speed will increase. This is only the reason why when 2 trains are colliding each other, or when 2 cars are colliding each other, there is a huge or worst accident, only because in opposite direction the relative speed enhances, isn't it? So what is the distance? So distance equals speed into time. Relative speed will be 45 minus of 40. Fine. And what is the tenure? That is 45 minutes. So convert this minutes into hour. This is 15 times of 3 and this is 15 times of 4. 45 minus of 40 will be 5 into 3 by 4, that is 15 by 4, that is 3.75 kilometer. So 3.75 kilometer will be the relative distance between both of them after a tenure of 45 minutes. Is it clear? Good evening, bacha. Very good evening. Next question. See, this particular question is important, very important, and its application is more important. And we'll be seeing its application. Next question will be the application of this particular question. You arrive at your school 5 minutes late if you walk at a speed of 4 km per hour, but you arrive 10 minutes before the scheduled time if you walk at 5 km per hour. The distance of your school from the house is. We have alternate method of solving these questions. Okay. So first method is, the respective speed was 4 km per hour and 5 km per hour. Considering the distance as 20 km, I am considering, let the distance be 20 km. What is the respective time? At a speed of 4 km per hour, to travel a distance of 20 km, you will be taking 5 hours. And here he will be taking 4 hours. So the difference of time, that is del t, is what? 1 hour. According to my considered distance, the difference of time is 1 hour. Had I been considered this as 200, this would have been 10 hours. So according to my diagram, the difference of time is 1 hour, but according to the question, it's 5 minutes late. See, on number line, it's 5 minutes late, and we have 10 minutes before. So late and early, the difference will be addition, that is 15 minutes. So 1 unit is equivalent to what? 15 by 60. That is 1 by 4. This was in minutes, so I converted into hours. So 1 unit will be 1 by 4. So the considered distance was 20. So 20 times of 1 by 4, that is 5 km. So 5 km will be the distance from the school to that of the house. See, fine. There will be 2 lectures, just like alligation and mixture and compound interest. First lecture will be bit average, and then we'll be having a important DI based questions. Okay, DI in time and distance. So 5 km. This is one of the method. Other method is distance in late early concept will be S1 into S2 upon del S into del T. Fine. This is derived from here itself. So the 2 respective speeds are 4 and 5. Difference of speed is 1. And what about the difference of time? 5 minutes late and 10 minutes early. 5 minutes late and 10 minutes early. So this will add up, because in the number line, 5 minutes late is this side, left hand side, and 10 minutes early is in the right hand side. And this is in minutes, so convert this into hours. 5 times of 4 is 20. 20 times of 3 will be 60. So this is 15 by 3. So 15 by 3 is what? 5 km. we can just say the distance between both the places will be 5 kilometer. Also via ratio we can be using this concept. The ratio of speeds is what? The ratio of speed is 4 and 5. And we all know that speed and time are reciprocal to each other. So time ratio will be 5 and 4. So the difference of time is 1 unit over here. The difference of time is 1 unit, which according to the question is 15 minutes. So 1 unit will be equivalent to 1 by 4 hours. That is 15 by 60. Or else you do one thing. 1 unit is equal to what? 1 unit is equals to 15 minutes. If 1 unit is equal to 15 minutes, so 15 into 5 is 75 minutes. 75 minutes by 60 multiplied by speed is 4. This is 15 times of 3, 15 times of 5, and this is 15 times of 4. 4 and 4 is 5 kilometers. What I have done again. So the speed ratio was 4 and 5. The ratios of speed were 4 and 5. The ratio of time period will be 5 and 4. So how much early he is reaching? He is reaching 1 unit early, and according to the question he was reaching 15 minutes. So 1 unit is equal to 15. If 1 unit is 15, 5 unit will be what? 5 unit will be 5 into 15, that is 75 minutes. So at a speed of 4 kilometer per hour, he was reaching in 15 minutes, 75 minutes. 1 unit is 15, so 5 unit will be 75 minutes. So with a speed of 4 kilometer per hour, he was reaching his office or school in 75 minutes. So what is the distance? Distance equals speed into time. Speed is 4 kilometer per hour and time is 75. So 4 into 75 by 60, that is 5 kilometer. Any of the method you can use, but this is the important method. In case of late early, you can use this directly. As compared to ratio, this is finer method. Why? Because we have certain applications in this. When the questions become tough in this kind of data, when the questions become tough, so this will be way more helpful. Just like this question, just like this. So this is an application. Put an option E, that is none of this. So this is a very beautiful question. Let's see who is doing it. It's a very beautiful question. Let's see who is doing it. Yes, one Sambhu. Okay, a man covered a certain distance at same speed or a uniform speed. Had he moved 8 km per hour faster, he would have taken 40 minutes less. And if he would have covered the distance 5 km per hour slower, he would have taken 38 minutes more. So what is that distance? Find that distance. Clear? Let's say his actual speed is x kilometer per hour. If his actual speed is x kilometer per hour, so if a person is traveling at a speed of x kilometer per hour, he will be neither late nor he will be reaching early. He will be on time. But he was not traveling with his actual speed. In the first case, had he moved 8 km per hour faster, distance equals s1 into s2 upon del s multiplied by del t, isn't it? So his original speed is x. Definitely he was not moving from x. First day he has enhanced or increased his speed by 8 km per hour. That means he was traveling at x by x plus 8 km per hour. And by doing so, the difference of speed will be 8 km per hour. Del s will be 8. Speed was x, he increased his speed by 8, so difference of speed is 8. And what about the time? If he is traveling with the actual speed, he will be reaching on time, that is 0 minute late or early. And if he is increasing speed, he is taking 40 minute less time. 0 minute gap and 40 minute gap will be what? If he is traveling at x kilometer per hour, he is reaching on time, that is 0 minute delay. And if he is increasing speed, he is reaching 40 minutes early, so difference of time will be 40 upon 60 to convert into hour. Next day, he reduced his speed by 5 km per hour, so that is x minus of 5. This is the case 2. Difference of speed is 5. And what about the delay? Delay is 38 minutes, so 38 upon 60. In either of the expression, I'm computing the distance. That means distance is same, so putting the equal sign, 60 and 60 gets eliminated. This is 8 times of 5. And this quadratic wala x, this is a kind of quadratic expression. This will be in the form of quadratic expression. If you are doing it via basic method, definitely it's going to be the quadratic expression. So I am removing the quadratic part. So by doing so, you are just eliminating all the calculation wala part. So this is 5 into x, that is 5x plus of 40 is equals this 5 will come over here, so this is 25x plus of 200 is equals, this is 38x minus of 190, isn't it? So this will go over here, this is 3x is equals 390, 13x equals 390, so the value of x will be what? 30 km per hour. So his original speed is 30 km per hour. His original speed has to be 30 km per hour. This is a beautiful question. So his original speed is 30 km per hour. The moment I got this speed as 30 km per hour, now I will be able to equate the distance as well. Put this 30 anywhere, both are distance. So this is 30 multiplied by 38 upon 8 times of 40 by 60. This is 30 times of 2. This is 2 times of 19. And we have 8 times of 5. So ultimately your distance will be 95 km. The distance which you were traveling was none of this, that is 95 km. Is it clear, everyone? This is the most important concept of time and distance in each and every examination, whether it's railway or banking or SSC or CDS or let's case Nabard or RBI, everywhere, NICL, NIACL, LICAO, everywhere. This particular pattern of late and early is very much relevant for each and every examination, and this is the basic approach. So we have 3 alternate method of doing so, and by using this method, we have conquered this question, which forms quadratic pattern if you're doing by a basic method. Fine. Now you won't be able to do via ratio, and it will take immense time as well as immense consideration. You have to consider something, and you have to consider that. So this can be way more easier. Next question. Clear, Shambhu? Is it clear, bacha? This is the average speed. Let's see who is doing it. A car covers 4 successive 7 km distance. It should be 4. It's 4. FOUR. So a car cover 4 successive 7 km distance at a speed of 10, 20, 30 and 60. What is the average speed of the car? See, this is the entire length of the journey. This entire length of the journey was being broken into 7 km each. That is 7 km, 7 km, 7 km and 7 km. And what about the speed? The speed of the first instance is 10 km per hour. The next 7 km was covered as 20 km per hour. Now it was covered at 30 km per hour. And the last was covered at 60 km per hour. We are here to calculate the average speed of the journey. See, average speed is how to calculate average speed? So average speed will be total distance upon total time. total distance upon total time is the average speed, isn't it? But whenever the distance are same, let's say half distance and half distance, going to your office and coming back, one third, one third, one third, one third, है ना? One fourth, one fourth, one fourth, one fourth, one third, one third, one third, or one fifth, one fifth, one fifth, one fifth, one fifth. Whenever the distance are same, even you can use this, or you can't be depending on this entire 7 kilometer distance. How to calculate average speed over here? The entire length of the journey is 28 kilometer, and distance upon time you will be getting the tenure also. But over here, while calculating time, it will be in fraction only. The calculation part is involved. 7 by time 10, 7 by 20, 7 by 30, and 7 by 40, 60. That 7 will come common and it will be eliminated. That means whenever the distance are same, the question do not depend upon a particular distance. You can assume any distance of your own. Only in what case? Whenever the distance is same, you can consider your own distance. So what I am doing is, I am eliminating this 7 kilometer and I am considering a distance multiple of 60, 30, 20 and 10, that is 60 kilometers. So I am considering, so each 1/4 part is of 60 kilometers. That means the entire distance is of 240 kilometers. By doing so, orally we can able to calculate the time. Time is distance upon speed. So time over here will be what? Time over here will be 1 hour. 60 kilometer at a speed of 30 kilometer per hour, tenure will be 2 hours. Here we will be getting 3 hours, and here it's 6 hours. So entire length of the journey is 240 kilometer, and we have just calculated the duration also. So total distance is 240. Now I won't be considering the total distance at 228, because this time what we have calculated is being with the reference of 60 kilometer distance, right? So the entire length of the distance journey is 240 kilometer, and the total time is 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 plus 1 is 12. That is, the average speed is 20 kilometer per hour. 20 kilometer per hour will be the average speed. Is it clear, everyone? Rohan Sambhu, very good. 20 kilometer per hour is the answer. Yes, 20 kilometer per hour is the average speed. Next question. So there will be 2 lectures of time and distance, because there are certain students who are not touching arithmetic part at all, है ना? So for them, this is a basic, not basic, you can say some questions are basic and some are average. So by just this lecture, you will be able to calculate, know or have a glance the entire concept of time and distance. Then that the next day, then Monday or in between, whenever I am having the next lecture, I will be taking some important questions of time and distance along with DI based on time and distance. Fine. Okay. On a journey across Kolkata, a taxi average 50 km per hour for 50% of the distance, 40 km per hour for 40% of the journey, and 20 km per hour for the remaining. Find the average speed of the whole journey. Okay. In this particular scenario, the distance is not given. We need to consider the distance as x. But let's consider the distance as 100. So I'm considering the distance as 100. Why I'm considering it? Because I will be able to calculate 50% and 40% of this considered distance. So 50% of the journey is what? 50% of this journey will be 50 km. 40% of not the remaining 40% of the same. So 40% of the journey will be 40 km, and what is left out, that is 10 km. So we have bifurcated the distance, and speed over here is 50 km per hour. Speed in this case is 40 km per hour, and speed in this case is 20 km per hour. See, it is possible the speed in this case can be 12 km per hour also. The examiner can give a distance that is a speed that is 12 km per hour. This 40 is not a multiple of 12, right? So while calculating the time, answer will be in fraction. So to omit that calculation part, what we have to do is, if you are multiplying the entire thing by 3, this will become a multiple of 120. So you should multiply 3 over here and make it 120. That calculation wala part you can do it later on, है ना? So here the speed is 40 km per hour. So this is easy. So average speed is total distance upon total time. What is the tenure over here? That is 1 hour. 50 km at an average speed of 50 km per hour. The average time will be what? 1 hour. The tenure over here is what? 40 by 40, that is 1 hour. And the time period over here is half hour. This is an easy case. Had this speed being 12 km per hour, 15 km per hour, and let's say 6 km per hour, 12, 15 and 6. 12, 15 and 6 has a multiple of 60. Then I would have multiplied each and every number by 60 for the sake of calculation. That's what I am saying. Over in this case, 50 km at an average speed of 50, it's 1 hour. This is orally, it can be done. But what about the speed is 12, 15 and 6? So this is not a multiple of 12, this is not a multiple of 15, this is not a multiple of 6. In that case, 12, 15 and 6 is having a multiple of 60. So I will be multiplying every number by 60. So the entire distance will be 6000 then. है ना? Now, average speed is total distance upon total time. What is the average speed? Total distance. Total distance is 100. And the total time is 1 plus 1, 2 plus half. That is 2.5 hours. Or 2.5. Time will never, you need not have to write time in point. Times are always in fraction. It's never in point and a decimal place. So this is what 40 km per hour will be the average speed of the entire journey. Anybody getting it? Rohan, Sambu, very good. So 40 km per hour will be the average speed of the journey. That is option number A. This is concept of chasing, which is particularly based on relative speed. Very good, Sambhu. What about the others? Okay, a thief runs at a speed of 10 meter per second. A policeman runs behind him at a speed of 12.5 meter per second, but runs after 10 seconds. That means, let's say, this is a particular home where the theft occurred. So the thief was over here. He steals the car and he runs at a speed of 10 meter per second. The policeman chases him after 10 seconds. That means in 10 seconds, he will be taking a lead of what? The speed of the thief is 10 meter per second. So in 10 seconds, he will be taking a lead of 100 meter. That means this particular thief has reached this point and he is still running at a speed of 10 meter per second. Now the owner of the car or the policeman starts at a speed of 12.5 meter per second. While chasing means the direction is same, and whenever the directions are same, the relative speed will reduce. So meanwhile, the speed of the policeman is 2.5 meter per second more. So entirely he will be covering this distance. That is in 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. He will be covering this entire distance. So this particular thief will be caught somewhere over here. Somewhere over here. So distance equals what? Distance equals speed into time. And what is the tenure? Tenure equals distance upon speed. Distance between both the person will be 100 meter. The thief has already taken a lead of 100 meter. And the relative speed is 12.5 minus of 10. That is 100 upon 2.5. That means in just 40 seconds, he will catch this thief. So at what distance the thief will be caught? Distance equals speed into time. speed of the policeman is 12.5, and he is catching the thief just after 40 seconds. So 12.5 into 40, that is 500. So at a distance of 500 meter, the policeman will catch the thief. Clear? At a distance of 500 meter, the policeman will catch the thief. So this is the question of chasing. The policeman, the thief with a speed of 10 meter per second took a lead of 100 meter. The policeman was way behind. He is having a speed of 12.5 and thief is running at a speed of 10 meter per second. So the relative speed is minus, that is 2.5, because the direction is same. The moment the direction is same, the relative speed will reduce. So in just 40 seconds, this particular thief will be caught at this point P. So at what distance? Distance equals speed into time. I considered the speed of constable or the policeman. Even you can consider the speed of thief also. You will be getting this distance. Distance equals speed into time. The speed of the policeman was 12.5, and at just after 40 seconds, he is able to catch this thief. So at a distance of 500 meter from the house. Clear? Everybody comment whether it's clear or not. A train is running from Delhi at 8 am and reaching Ghaziabad at 10 am, while the other train starts from Ghaziabad at 8 am and reaches Delhi at 11 am. That means there are two different places, that is Delhi and Ghaziabad. This particular train starts at 8 am and he reached Ghaziabad at 11 am, and this particular train starts at 10 am and this particular train starts at 8 am and he reached Delhi at 11 am. So meanwhile, they both are starting at the same time. That means in the way between Delhi and Ghaziabad, somewhere they will be crossing each other. We don't have the speed, we don't have the distance. Clear? Anybody getting the answer? Clear, Sambhu? Very good. So what to do? So the first train is taking 2 hours and the second train is taking 3 hours. The length of the journey is same, still they are taking different time. If the length of the journey is same and if still you are taking if the distance is constant and if you are taking different time, that means you are traveling with different speeds. So the first train starts at 8 am and reached at 10 am. That means he is taking 2 hours for the entire journey, and the second train reached at 11 am. That means he is taking 3 hours. So considering the distance, multiple of 2 and 3, let's say the distance is 6 km. Any distance you can cover. Any distance you can consider, but consider the multiple of time so that you can be able to calculate speed very easily. So the speed of first person is 3 km per hour and the speed of second person is 2 km per hour. So this is not the perfect speed. This is not the real speed. You won't be able to calculate the entire distance and the speed in this particular question. Irrespective of what number you are considering, your answer will be same. You will be getting the same time. But whatever number you are considering, depending upon the distance you are considering, the speed will change accordingly. If you are considering 6, it's 3 and 2. If you are considering 12, double, it will be 6 and 4. If you are considering 60, this will be 30 and 20. So in this particular question, you won't be able to calculate the speed and the length of the journey. Only thing which is constant is the time of crossing. And there are two cases. In this particular cases, the time was same. Initial time was same. Both were starting at the same time. Fine. So what is the time? So time equals distance upon speed. Distance is 6 km, and what is the relative speed? When the direction are opposite to each other, when they are coming towards each other, relative speed will increase. So this is 6 by 5 hours. And 6 by 5 hours is nothing but 1 by 5 hour. That is 1 hour, 12 minutes. 1 by 5 into 60, that is 12 hour, 12 minutes. So just after 1 hour 12 minutes, that means at 9:12 a.m. they will be crossing each other. At 9:12 a.m. they will be crossing each other. You can do it orally. 2 hours and 3 hours, the distance is 6 kilometers. 6 by 2 and 6 by 3, the relative speed is 2 and 3. Respective speeds are 2 and 3. So the entire journey is of 6 kilometers. And the relative speed is 2 kilometers plus 3 kilometers per hour, that is 5. So 6 by 5 is the answer. Had this being same, not same, let's say he starts at 7 a.m. So if he is starting at 7 a.m., let's say he is starting at 7 a.m. So what you have been doing then? In that case, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., there is a tenure of 1 hour, and in 1 hour he would have traveled alone at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour. That is from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. there is a tenure of 1 hour. In 1 hour he will be traveling at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour, that is 3 kilometers. So 6 kilometers minus 3 kilometers, only 3 kilometers of distance will be left between them. So 3 by 5 will be the answer then. In that case, 3 by 5. 3 by 5 is what? 3 by 5, consider 3 by 5 into 60, that is just after 36 minutes they will be. So 8:36 would have been the answer. But in this case, the time is same, initial time. So 9:12 a.m. they will be reaching at 9:12. So 9:12 is the answer. Very good. Next question. Distance is not constant, Shambhu. Distance is variable. Okay. Fine. A man rides his vehicle at a rate of 36 km per hour but stops for 12. This is the speed, and he stops for 12 minutes to change parts at the end of every 14 km. What will be the time taken to cover a distance of 90 kilometers? So entire length of the journey is 90 kilometers, and he is traveling at a speed of 36 kilometers per hour. That means time will be distance upon speed, that is 90 upon 36. 18 times of 5 by 2. 5 by 2 hours, that is 2.5 hours. So 2.5 hours is the driving time. So if he is not stopping on his way at an average speed of 36 km per hour, he will be covering a journey of 90 km in just 2.5 hours. But over here, he is stopping just after 14 minutes. So on his way of 90 km, if he is stopping after 14 minutes, so 14, just after 14 minutes, he is stopping each and every time. Clear? So 14 times of 6 is 84. 14 times of 6 is 84. What is left out? That is 6 km distance is left out. So how many complete stoppages are there? So complete stoppages are 6. Because on the 6th stoppage, he still needs to go 6 km. If the remainder is 3, then also I will be considering 6 also. After 6 stoppage, after taking 6 stoppage, still he needs to go 3 km further. But if the remainder is 0, in that case, he need not have to go further. So in that case, the stoppages will be -1, that is only 5 stoppages. Why? Because that particular stoppages is not the stoppage, it is the destination. So you are not taking this 12 minutes in your destination. On your way, you are taking, so let's say, in a particular dhaba, he is stopping for 12 minutes. So how many dhaba he will encounter on his journey? So 90 by 14, that is 6 dhabas he will encounter. If the remainder is 0, let's say the remainder is 0, so this sixth one is not the dhaba, this is the destination point. So in that case, I will be eliminating one dhaba. So then in that case, the stoppages will be 5. But here, the total stoppages is 6 because you need to go further. So total stoppages is 6. And on each stoppages, you're taking a tenure of 12 minutes. So 6 into 12 minutes, that is 72 minutes. 72 minutes is nothing but 1 hour 12 minutes. That means you are stopping for 1 hour 12 minutes on your way and you are driving for 2 hours 30 minutes. So what is the total time? What is the total time to reach your destination? 2 hour 30 minutes plus of 1 hour 12 minutes, which is nothing but 3 hour 42 minutes. So entire length of the journey will be covered in 3 hour 42 minutes. That is option number C for Chris Gale. Clear? So the entire length of the journey was covered in 3 hour 42 minutes. There are beautiful questions in this. We'll be seeing accident, double accident, and a relative speed and all. Concept of relative speed. Is it clear? Is it clear, bacha party? Everybody, is it clear? So if nothing is left behind, if the remainder is 0, in that case you should be eliminating one of these stoppages. Okay. Roshan starts his journey from Delhi to Bhopal. Okay, let's say this is Delhi and this is Bhopal. Delhi to Bhopal, and simultaneously Ashish starts from Bhopal to Delhi. So after crossing each other, they finish the remaining journey in this hours and this hours respectively. What is the speed? What is Ashish's speed if the Roshan speed is 37? Okay, so both are traveling towards each other. On their way, somewhere over here, they will be crossing each other. Let's say the speed of Roshan is SR and speed of Ashish is SA. Roshan was traveling from Delhi to Bhopal and Ashish is traveling from Bhopal to Delhi. On their way, somewhere they are crossing each other. And this particular Roshan will be going over here only because he is going towards Bhopal. And after crossing, Ashish is going over here. Let's say the time taken by Roshan is T1 and time taken by Ashish is T2. These are the respective time taken after crossing each other. This is not the entire journey time. Had the entire tenure will be given, I would have considered the time as a multiple of speed, just like the previous question over here. In this particular question, the entire tenure was given 2 hours and 3 hours. So I considered the distance as 6 kilometers. But in this particular question, neither distance is given, neither nor the speeds are given, neither the entire length of the journey, entire tenure is given. This tenure, this time period is given just after crossing each other. So time of meeting is same. This particular tenure will be what? This particular distance is covered by Roshan. So SR into T1. This will be SR into T1. And here it will be SA into T2. SA into T2. From here we will be getting the speeds ratio. So on solving, what you will be getting? In this type of question, when they are crossing each other and time period is given just after crossing, the ratio of speeds will be under root T2 by T1. Remember this, the ratios of speed will be under root T2 by T1. How did you get this? This length of journey is SR into T1. This length of the journey is SA into T2. Entire journey is addition of both the numbers. From there we will be getting this expression S1 by S2 is equals under root T2 by T1. So the first person was Roshan and the second person was Ashish. So the first time is this. This is the time taken by Roshan. This will come over here. 54 by 9 is nothing but 45 plus 4, 49 by 9. And the tenure of Ashish is 9. So this is under root 81 by 49. So we can just say the speed of Roshan to that of speed of Ashish will be 9 and 7. So these are the respective ratios of the speed. The speed of Roshan is given as 36 km per hour, which is nothing but 4 times. So the speed of Ashish will be 7 into 4, that is 28 km per hour. So your answer will be 28 km per hour. B for Temba Babuma. Clear? So this was your lecture. This particular question is based on fog. This question is based on fog. So always remember this. If time after crossing is given, so S1 by S2 will be under root T2 by T1. A man could see only 50 meters in fog. He was walking at an average speed of 4 km per hour and saw a train coming from behind. The train was of 20 meters in length and disappeared in 30 seconds. Find the speed of the length. Okay. Suppose this is a particular person. He was going in this direction. This particular person can see up to a range of 50 meters because visibility is just for 50 meters. He was walking at a speed of 4 km per hour. His particular speed is 4 km per hour. A train and saw a train coming from behind. He saw a train coming from behind and saw a train. He saw a train coming. That means there will be equal fog both the side. The length of the fog is for 50 meters this side and 50 meters this side. He saw a train coming from behind. That means that train would have been just behind the fog. Had this saw term would not be there, a train from behind crosses him. That means that particular person is over here and the train is just behind him. But if this saw is been mentioned, that means the particular person just after hearing the whistle, he just saw that the particular train is just encroaching him, is coming towards him, and he is just behind this particular fog which is of 50 meter length. Had this saw term is not there, then only the next fog will be taken into consideration. I am traveling and I saw a train coming from behind. That means that particular train is just behind the fog. But if I am traveling, a train from behind crosses me, that means the train was just behind me. And if the term saw is being mentioned, that means the train is just behind the fog. The length of the train is 20 meters. You need to find out the speed. Considering the speed of train as x km per hour. Why I am considering in kilometer per hour? Because the speed of person is in kilometer per hour. Distance equals speed into time. The total distance traveled by the train is its own length of 20 meters and 50 meters of two fogs. And what about the speed? Speed of the train is x and that of the man is 4. In same direction, this relative speed will reduce. This is in meter and this is in kilometer per hour. So convert this into meter per second by multiplying it by 5 by 18. And what is the total tenure taken? The total time taken is 30 seconds. So this is in meter per second and second. So it is balanced now. 50, 50, 100, 120 multiplied by 18 upon 5 into 30 is equals x minus of 4. So this is 30 times of 4. 18 times of 4 is 72 by 5. So this is 72 by 5 is equals x minus of 4. 72 by 5 is what? 18. 2 by 5. Sorry. 14 2 by 5 is equals x minus of 4. That means the speed of train will be 18 2 by 5 km per hour. I considered x in kilometer per hour, so it will be in kilometer per hour. If I'm multiplying this by 5 by 18, this entire thing is getting converted into meter per second, but the speed of x will be same as what I have considered. So I'm calculating x, I'm not calculating x into 5 by 18. So the value of x will be 18 2 by 5. Hence we can just say the train speed is 18 2 by 5 km per hour. Clear? So this was your lecture of, this is a homework question. So comment your answer in the homework box. So this is homework. So meet you, this is homework. So put answer of this question as an homework. So meet you with the next lecture of time and distance. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.